Alright, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be teaching you guys an in-depth content creation strategy that we are doing in Vision Paradox. It's going to be a lot more in-depth, and a lot more of an in-depth training compared to the micro-content strategy training that I previously gave you guys. It's going to be covering not only the stuff you already know in terms of the render formats, um, the different types of micro content we make. It goes way deeper in the different types of phases that we can use to really maximize the content that we are given and the content that we can create. And this is something that I've been doing personally for my own content, so that way I maximize, everything that I create and document. So if I happen to not have a good piece of content that I want to share, I have something in the library because that's slightly remixed from the original one, and it's just refreshing to the people who may have seen something similar to it, or the new audience, or for the new followers that I may have on Instagram or on Facebook or on YouTube. Okay, that's the whole point, is to be able to maximize the content that you have. So what you're going to be learning today, this is kind of cool. I don't know if it's distracting. We're going to be learning why we create content like this, the different terms that we use, okay, the different deliverables and formats. Okay, terms is important because I want you guys to be able to understand when I give you guys specific tasks or lists of deliverables to make. I want you guys to be able to understand where I'm coming from without any confusion. Okay, next is what makes good content. So we want to make sure the content we produce is really, really good. Okay, documenting versus creating. Okay, what is macro content? The different, and what is micro content? I will be getting into all this as we go along in the training. How to create macro content. We're going to touch base on this a little bit because this is the more often common way people do things. They create videos and they put together the video, which ends up being like 2-3 minutes. So that's, everyone can hire a video editor and put together macro content. So how to create micro content, there's different methods of doing that, and we really want to extract and really maximize the micro content that we have. Why we're doing this is because we want to maximize all the content. Like I just said, all the content given to us for multiple uses. This is not just for Instagram, but this is also for upcoming platforms like Musically, using extracting audio that way we can potentially use that as a soundbite or a voiceover for another video. There's so many ways we can create different types of content instead of just doing the normal, here's the footage, put it together, and that's it. This allows us to have a massive library of content to pull from whenever there's little to no content available. There are going to be some times when clients don't provide us new stuff to work with, or we don't film with them, and we want to make sure that we have something to work with. Say we have multiple forms of, say, for example, a wedding event. Okay, if we make 2, 3, 4, 5 different 1-minute versions of that 2-hour, not even 2 hours, an entire day wedding event. Okay, you can probably share it once when it's done, and then you can use the third version of the highlight half a year from now. Then you can use the fourth version of the highlight a year from now. The caption and the context and the use for it will change over time, but it's not going to be the same exact content. It'll still be something fun and useful. That way we're kind of repurposing everything that we're given. It's through the strategy that we can create a month to an entire year's worth of content prepped and scheduled. This is one of the questions I got, like, what if your content's already scheduled, don't you want to talk about like topical things like, I don't know, National Donut Day or Christmas? That's the benefit of having content scheduled, is that if you don't have anything to share, it's already done for you. The topical things like Christmas, Black Friday, or Halloween, summer, you can layer that on top of what's already scheduled. Okay, that's just the beauty of it. It's done for you automatically. You have a huge library of it. You schedule it, and then things you just want to share for fun, add it whenever you want. It takes the part of having to think of, I have to schedule this to build my brand, that it takes that kind of stress out. Anyways, that's a little bit that's going down another route in terms of training for the social media managers, actually. Anyways, so again, it gives us a way to schedule things way ahead of time. So this is for my own personal stuff, since I'm going to be using a lot of my stuff as an example. I am the guinea pig of a lot of the stuff that we do for Vision Paradox. I want to make sure when we implement it with our clients, I want to make sure that it's actually been tested through myself first. That way I can get the results and then from there implement it on them. So that way it's not based on theory or it's not just a hypothesis. It actually has some data and evidence for us to be able to do it. And because of this, I'm currently scheduled until November for Facebook, and it's currently August right now. November on YouTube, and October in Facebook, and middle of September on Instagram. And I'm actually still in the middle of producing content. I'm aiming to have it done at least up until maybe next March. And I have a massive amount of content that I'm still putting together, then scheduling. Thanks to the team of the team of video editors putting it together. If you guys are watching this, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. This training is specifically for you, but I'm also making this training available for everyone on the internet to see. So yeah, I'm scheduled way ahead of time. That way my social channels are taken care of with valuable content. Anyways, the different terms. Macro content, that's anything that's 1+ minutes. This stuff is meant for YouTube, Facebook, Vimeo if you guys use that. It can be a vlog, a tutorial, highlight video, interview. It's essentially long form content, 1 minute and on, a movie, that kind of stuff. Micro content is anything from, I should put this as 10 for Snapchat, but I generally put 30 to 59 seconds, meant for all platforms. This is a little bit flexible in that as long as it's meeting a certain standard of storytelling, educating, empowering, entertaining, we can share it for all platforms, because you don't want to share like a random 30 seconds of nothing on YouTube, because I personally, I think it's cool because random cat videos work and everything, but for me, my personal brand, I prefer not to just post random nothingness on there unless it has a point of leading them to something bigger, like a 30-second freestyle video leading to leading them to a tutorial, or leading to them a compilation video of freestyles. So for me, a lot of the content has to have an intent and a purpose that plays into the bigger picture of what you're trying to accomplish. So this is going to be a highlight video, snippet video. I'll tell you guys the difference as we go deeper into the training. Insta story or Snapchat video, so which is pretty much either one of these, snipped down to 10 seconds, made for Instagram stories or Snap. Screen grabs, which is pretty much getting the images with the best shot composition from that video. That's why I prefer doing video, because at any moment you're not only capturing the audio, you're capturing the video, and if you have a really good photographic eye, you can capture a really powerful moment, which can then become an image that you can share on Instagram or Facebook, or use it as an ad. Okay, and audio, this is pretty much full 2-minute audio as well. This is so inconvenient. And a 10, 20, 30 second sound bites. This is pretty much the entire interview, which can then be formatted as a podcast. Or if you have like a 10, 20, 30 second rant of you, talking about shoes, or talking about something insanely powerful and inspiring, you can then use that same soundbite as a voiceover for a highlight video. I get really in depth in creating and remixing and mashing up content from different parts of content that you have in your library. Yeah, it can get pretty crazy, and you can get pretty creative in how you can put all this content together, especially once you have a really massive library up. It's just up to you how you want to go with it. So the different types of deliverables. So this is for you guys, the video editors. Macro content, render at H.264 at 10 megabits per second with max rendering quality on. File size limitations none. Micro content, H.264 at whatever megabits per second. That'll, as long as it's under 30 megabytes with max rendering quality on, okay, you're good to go, because we only pull to the program that we use only allows for 30 megabytes as max. Instagram, Snapchat story formatted. This is what's currently working for me. I know there's research for 1 minute Snapchat videos now. Currently for me, I'm on Android. I still don't have that feature. At least I don't see it. The resolution is 540 by 960, and you want to try to keep it under 2 megabytes. Otherwise, it just doesn't really work that well, at least in my personal experience, because either way it's still going to be compressed, but trying to keep it as close to how the actual Snapchat videos are actually saved out onto your phone. Next up is screen grabs. You can use just save the photo straight from Premiere, or yeah, preferably from Premiere. And audio, render out as 192 kilobytes per second, MP3. I know there's the whole wave thing, but I'm trying to save space here, and we're not getting that fancy with the audio. So, what makes good content? Okay, instead of telling you what it is, I put together a series of questions to ask yourself that if you answer these yes for all of these, you've pretty much hit the checklist of making good content. So answering these questions, does it tell a story? It doesn't necessarily have to have a beginning, middle, and end within that 1 minute. Ideally that would be awesome, but does it tell a story about your brand, about who you are, about what you're trying to sell? Does it tell a story about you? Okay, if it's just for 5 seconds of randomness, 10 seconds of randomness, I personally wouldn't put it up, but that's just me. This is the strategy we're putting together, that we're implementing. So like some people, according one of our clients is very meme heavy at this, but that's because part of their client brand profile that we have fill them out. They're meant to be fun loving and happy and humorous. So memes work out. If you are kind of a life coach, inspirational quotes might just work better for you. Or if you happen to find some sort of inspirational / humorous kind of meme, that'll work better. But if it's like you see a meme that's really just talking down about other people, then you probably see that a lot, probably not going to be good for you to post, and you probably know that already. Next is the 3 E's. Does it empower, educate, or entertain? A little typo right there, but it doesn't have to necessarily hit all these 3's: empower, educate, or entertain. Okay, does it inspire people, like quotes? Does it educate people? Is it a tutorial? Does it tell people about a special deal you have? Does it entertain? Is it like a dance video? Is it a skit? It has to be either one of these. And bonus if you can do all 3. Okay, is it brand compliant? Is it compliant to your mission? Is it consistent with the design idea you have, typography? This is a little bit more on the branding end, making sure that you have, is it according to your values, your words. This is a little bit more on, for our end in the agency, making sure that working with different clients, we don't want to end up creating content that is completely different from how the customer already views and experiences them. Next does it capture the first 5 seconds of the viewer? This is if it's video. Or does it even capture the attention? Like, take a look at your own patterns of what you're doing through Instagram or the news feed. What causes you to stop and watch, stop and look at the image? Okay, because more than likely you guys are just scrolling up pretty fast. So what is the thing that captures your attention? And try to emulate and duplicate that. So with these 4 questions, it gives us a guideline, and this means all content has to answer these questions before it's rendered and produced. You can have like a rough edit on Premiere or Sony Vegas if you want, but ultimately, before you even put it out there, is it providing value to the world? Is it providing value to your audience? Documenting versus creating. I love doing both. Probably documenting is like 60% versus to creating. Documenting is when you are just grabbing your camera and just filming everything you can. It's very much like vlogging and documenting. You're just grabbing your camera, filming as you go, and it doesn't look perfect. There's no lighting. Nothing is perfect. It's very raw and real, and there's no pre-production, there's no planning, you just do it. And the thing I like about that is that there's no having to spend time to plan something out. You just grab and go, and you can create multiple forms of content within a short time. And the thing is, the content has to be good. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it still has to be good. Okay, and the cons of this is that you could end up reviewing, like within 2 hours, you'll have a lot of footage to review, and sometimes there's going to be a lot of boring moments while reviewing it. Examples, as I said, vlogging and documentaries. An added thing to that is that when you're documenting something, you never know. If you've ever asked yourself a moment where like, damn, we should have filmed that. That's exactly why I strongly recommend documenting, because you never know what you're going to capture. Creating, on the other hand, involves a planning process. It allows you to create high quality content. Examples: music videos and movies. They have a lot of time spent in pre-production, scripts, casting, table reads, getting the crew together. So for you as the individual, it's, I don't know, planning out the types of videos you want to create, doing some keyword research, I don't know, getting the right camera or collaborating, the right interviewer. It's a lot of things that you have to take into consideration before creating it. And the thing I like about it is that it does create high quality content, and you can produce a decent amount of micro content, and a great place for high quality screen grabs because everything is planned. But the thing with that is that you spend a lot of time with pre-production. It can depend. Some people are just really fast with pre-production, but more often than not, people end up spending a lot more time with pre-production, and with a lot of that just to produce, a 2-3 minute piece of content. The amount of micro content that you can create from there is not as vast compared to documenting. And again, it depends on you as the individual and what you want to do. These are just the two different ways we do it. We document or create. There's actually examples. There's actually a way to do a mix of both, but that's for another time. So what is macro content? As I explained, 1 to 2 minutes of content that educates, empowers, or entertains your audience. These length of videos are perfect for Facebook and YouTube, so aka vlogs, full-length tutorials, highlight videos. It's very much like the highlight micro content, but again, longer than a minute. So macro content, for example, a movie, allows us to create micro content, a trailer, or a 30-second teaser, which ultimately the call to action that we want for people to do is to spend money to go watch the movie. So macro content is the full length thing, and we use the micro content to give a little teaser of the bigger picture. Okay, so for us, for one of our clients, it can be a vlog that allows us to create a highlight piece of content or a snippet. And again, I'll go into details of the difference between a highlight content and a snippet piece of micro content, and ultimately we want them to go to a call to action, which is watch the macro content, go to the site, buy tickets, buy the product. So everything works together. So how to make macro content? This is pretty straightforward. You just give the footage to a video editor, take the footage, and put it all together. As that, edit the footage given by the client. A vlog, music video, highlight videos. Create a highlight video from a recent client film shoot, longer than a minute, 2 minutes. So again, create to build and give value, educate, entertain, empower, and mash up, or you can mash up all the old footage from the content library. So we have a client called Show Off Dolls. We have content from them back from 2013, and we've been mashing up their content from that year to from 2015 and 16 and on. The purpose of that video was to kind of create a throwback moment and an opportunity for us to shout out some of the old members and to just showcase the growth of the team to the audience. So what is micro content? It's 30 to 59 seconds, again, of content that educates, empowers, or entertains the audience. And these length of videos are perfect for all platforms. Again, can't be boring. Okay, and these examples are going to be in the slides that you can download. Okay, highlights of an event, snippets of a tutorial, okay, highlights of a moment in the vlog, snippets of a performance. So you notice that I'm kind of using the words highlight and snippets a lot. I'm going to get into explaining that, I think, right now. The types of content we do: snippets are, say we have a 10-minute vlog. A snippet is a 30 to 59 second video of a really cool moment in the vlog, or a really cool moment in the footage you have. A highlight is a 39 to 59 second mashup of all the cool moments, that you can find in the beginning, middle, quarter to the end, and mash it all together. The other type of format we do is Insta Story and Snapchat formatted, and the last is audio. Again, all content must answer the questions before it is rendered and produced. So how to create micro content snippets? Say this is the full video. It can be just say, for example, it's a movie. Okay, this is you've seen it on Facebook, or they share the first minute of a movie. You can do exactly that. So for you guys, the editors, aim to create 5 to 10 pieces of micro content snippets for each client. So think of the questions, don't just render 10 seconds of random nothing. I know I'm saying that, but I really want you guys to get that. Not just random. It has to really tell the story about who the client is. Say these colored bricks right here are the different snippets you have. Okay, 30 seconds here, 59 seconds here, I don't know, 20 seconds here. From as long as it's entertaining and meets and answers all the questions, you've created different micro content that you can probably share this week, next month, 3 months from now. You have something to work with, especially when you that contributes to your content library, especially when you have on those days that you have nothing new to share. So how to make micro content highlights. Okay, so this is where you pick the best moments of the macro content. These can last from 5 seconds to 30 seconds. Okay, just get the really fun, eye-catching moments and put them together, and add, obviously add a really cool track with it. Okay, so key thing, best moments, not random, tells a story. Remember the questions, beating it at home. Okay, aim to make 5 to 10 pieces of micro content. Oh, sorry, that's not meant to be there. Anyways, I'll actually be telling you guys how much of each content to create in another slide. It might be a little different from the previous slide. I forgot to edit that. So anyways, notice now that I have an audio piece, things are going to get crazy, creative, complex, fun. So say full video and say the original audio. So audio meaning the music track in this case. Okay, so you have moments A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, all different, varying in lengths. Okay, check out some examples. This is where you can switch it up. You can make with the original song, the audio one is the original song. We can make moments A, B, C, D, or F, C, H, or C, D, A, G. It's all from the same video, same content, different order, has to tell the story using the same song. Okay, F, G, H, C, D, A, G. Okay, and I call that all phase 1 of the highlights. All the same highlight moments or same moments in different orders using the same song. Phase 2 goes into, as you can start seeing, it's getting a little more creative. You can do this for I've picked up the top here in FGH, this too, as an example. You can get these same moments and add a different music track, add a different music track. Same with this, add a different music track, add a different music track. Imagine how much more content. Say now imagine you did this for every single piece of micro content you created from phase 1, and you do it to phase 3. You have a lot more content to share. It can feel redundant because it's the same thing, but the thing you want to keep in mind is that not everyone that follows you sees the content at the same time. And like a piece of content I shared today, I've shared at least 3 times within the past probably 6 to 8 months, and people still receive it well. It's just the delivery and the execution, and if it's just really good, why not keep sharing it? It's good that you film and create new content, but it's another thing to really maximize the content you have. So it's not just a one-time thing, which is what a lot of people do. They create content and they use it once and then that's it. Why let a really awesome piece of video just die out after one shot? Just keep sharing it. Just do it differently. So now moving on to phase 3 though. Okay, this is where we get a little bit more interesting. Those audio things, those audio renders that I told you about, like those 10, 20, 30-second rants, we can now start adding that. So this goes right into just this top level right here. Okay, for this ABCD highlight video we have here, we can have these 3 versions of the videos and have a soundbite. Say it's something inspirational about, I don't know, getting off your butt and taking action. You can have that right here. Soundbite 1, soundbite 2, soundbite 1 mixed up with audio 1, 2, and 3. You now have another piece, another form of content. Same thing, remixed a little bit more. Now we have another soundbite here talking about the importance of being grateful. Okay, you now have that with audio 2, 3, and 1. Okay, so and now imagine these applied to all this, you have a massive library of micro content from one video. I mean, do you see how powerful that can be in creating content for you or creating content for the clients? I mean, if we're really ambitious, we can create content for a good 3 months to 6 months based off 4 to 5 hours of filming. But we don't necessarily need to go through all these phases. I'm just showing you the example of how creative we can get from doing highlight videos. So here's a little quick thing of creating highlight videos from old content. Say you have a library. We use all our stuff, as you guys have seen, talking to the editors, as you guys have seen in Google Drive. So you'll see different libraries, performance, music videos, behind the scenes, rehearsals. You can do the same thing here, mix it all up, get moments from rehearsals, performances, and throw in an audio track. Same thing here, different order, audio track, add a soundbite. Okay, and you can just pretty much take it through the phases of through here. Just, you don't necessarily have to have new footage, just use what you currently have. So how many highlight videos and how many snippet videos? Snippet videos are only applicable when there's new footage. Okay, and all you need to do is max 5 snippets from the new footage. Okay, that gives us a good amount to just use as teasers on Instagram or on Facebook. Highlights from the new footage, preferably this is what I would like: 4 phase 1 edits, 3 phase 2 edits, and 3 phase 3 edits. And weekly, when there's no new footage to work with, 5 highlight videos using any of the phases from the library. That way, we're not twiddling our thumbs waiting for new content to come in. We're being on offense and creating something for the client, for them to use, and for us to curate. So screen grabs, this is pretty easy for especially on Premiere. Capture the best moments with the best shot compositions in the footage that you have. The screen grabs have to be visually pleasing and has to tell the story. If you look on Instagram or see photographers and their shots, that's pretty much the moment that you gotta get. It can't just be a random random shot that has no shot composition. It has to be good. So again, this can be just a simple, pretty much using the same example from the highlights. Best moment here, best moment here, best image here, best image here. I'm using moment and image interchangeably. And how many screen grabs do I want you guys to do? 20 to 30 from each new batch of footage that we receive. Unless you've never edited before, unless the content has never been through this part of the content creation phase. For example, the client gives us some old piece of footage that we've never filmed and there's no screen grabs, we can do that. So yeah, a total of 20 to 30 total screen grabs from each batch of footage. So yeah, from here, it's going to be passed down to the graphic designer, who's going to create the content through their own 3-phase process. So this is just creating content on content on content, using a little, very little time. So Instagram, Snapchat, pretty much get the best highlights and snippets and produce 5 to 10 Instagram stories. So you don't necessarily have to make all of the micro content, all the snippets and highlights into Instagram stories. Just pick the ones that you believe are the best ones, and I'm leaving that for you guys to judge on which one's really good. You guys got to convert these 30 to 59-second videos and create multiple 10-second clips. So for example, if you guys remember the micro content, the snippets, we're going to go 1 and 3, and then these 2 random highlights. Okay, since it's a 30-second snippet, we're going to do 3 10-second renders of these based off the format I give you, which you guys can use the slides here as reference. Okay, same thing here, 45-second snippet, Instagram / Snapchat rendered, and 1 5-second. So you guys get the idea. Audio content, pretty much just pick the most thought-provoking, insightful, inspirational, practical portion of the audio of the content. So since it's audio, it has to be something useful that we can use as a voiceover. Say soundbite 1 right here is talking about being motivational. This one is practical advice, and so on and so forth. So you just pretty much export those sound bites as separate pieces of separate pieces of content and put it into the appropriate deliverables folder, and that's pretty much sound bites that we can use for the highlights. So are you starting to see that how we can intermix a lot of this content together to create something completely new? Does it seem pretty cool, right? So moving on, so this is another example. Say we have it's me interviewing someone. It's straight up 20 minutes. Okay, same thing. Most thought-provoking parts, inspirational, exports, and then since it's an interview, export the interview audio itself, since we would be able to use that as podcast audio that we can put on Stitcher or iTunes, and you just create another piece of content based off, video interview you made with that you had with someone. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a 30-minute podcast. It can be a good 10 minutes as long as the content is good. So overall deliverables are 1 to 2 full videos, which is pretty much the macro content, vlogs, 2-minute highlights, interviews, whatever is on the list of tasks for you to do, 5 snippets, 10 highlight videos, 5 to 10 Insta stories, 10 to 30 screen grabs, and as many sound bites as you can grab, because we don't know how many moments there are of actually thought-provoking, inspirational stuff. Okay, and that should be a total of 60 pieces of content. That's about 2 months worth of content from one shoot or from one go around. Okay, so again, are you starting to see how we can really maximize the content for our clients or for yourself? That way you can really have some dope stuff to share on your social. So things to remember, not a whole lot, because you can always reference this video and reference the slides. Okay, answer the questions prior to rendering it. Okay, if you have a rough edit, answer the questions. Okay, and make sure to create a variety of content for the social media managers. This is exactly why I created the phases, so that way the social media managers can take a look at the content library and see the events or the shoot days, and they can see in the deliverables folder the different types of things that they can use in promotion or in the content curation that they are doing. With that, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your guys' time. Let me know if you guys got any questions, if I missed something, or if there's something that you want me to go into more detail about. I'll be more than glad to help you guys out. Other than that, I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.